office as a DG of Labor. And Vic calls me. Hey, at that time I was still Jimmy, I'm Zwanele now. So he calls me and he says, hey man, I've got this diplomat here. Can you please come and talk to him about what was this thing, decent work, etc. No, Vic, I've known Vic for a long time. You know, we started employment equity thing in 1996 with Vic. So it's somebody in my trusted camp. So of course, I can see this diplomat at short notice. So this guy comes, and then we chat and we chat and we chat and we chat, and then he says, you know, I've got this problem with this BE. Then I offer to assist this guy. No, this is a subject I quite understand. I can assist you in all that. And then unbeknown to me, this guy goes out and he says, I tried all kinds of funny things. And even today, I have not made one cent in BE. And this guy tried to say, I tried to whether get money from him or BE, I don't know, something to that effect. But I was consoled lately when I was reading that in the Nordic states, this is an ambassador from Norway, by the way, but I was consoled to hear lately, it's actually on Google, I saw this thing that in the Nordic states, Norway is the most corrupt country. So perhaps this guy judged me with Norway standards, but it's fine. And then I go to CakeNet with Dirk. We discuss employment equity, we discuss, you know, I'm the DG of Labor here, supposed to make sure that we achieve equitable representation across the country. And I try to make a point to say, this is not possible if some of us are sitting on the one corner of the country, you know, and you know how those comments were later out of context and I was nailed for it. So I'm having a kind of a deja vu today that I'm sitting right with those two people. But anyway, morning everyone. These days I've got a Twitter there, and I would encourage all those that are on Twitter to follow me at Krila, but it's pronounced Krila. But just for ease of reference, Krila, K-R-I, so please get onto your phones, make sure that you follow me. This is where current affairs lives. Right. Why are we here? Where should I point this thing? Okay, so why are we here? We're here because of a story that was told by Peter Branch in his book, History of Inequality. You know, this book is a very good book. I would encourage you. I see Jan is here. You must read this book, Jan. This book is very good. It's, in fact, I think what Sampi was trying to do here, he was trying to absolve the Afrikaners. And Sampi said, no, don't blame us. The issue of oppression of black people is not started by us. It started in 1652 when the Dutch came here, in this book. And they did what they did with their colonialism. And when they thought they were finished, 1795, the British came with their British imperialism. And he says, in 1948, we just did final touches. Okay. So it's important to understand that the history of oppression of black people, that's how long it is. This whole notion that 20 years of democracy, why are we not where we should be? You cannot reverse 350 odd years of oppression, as well articulated by Peter Branch here with just over 21 years of democracy. It's impossible. He goes to town to explain that we were disempowered politically, economically, and even our social structures. I'm not going to go into detail because of time, but it's important to know that we come a long way, as it were. Now, when we talk about transformation that we're trying to do, people confused transformation with assimilation. And I thought I should use this picture here just to show you. When we say transformation, we talk fundamental, complete change. As you can see there, from an egg to a butterfly, that whole cycle, this is transformation. You see what keep making this point here. What Musi Maiman is doing in the DA, that's not transformation, that's assimilation. Why is it assimilation? It's assimilation because Musi did not go to the DA to transform the DA. He has been transformed by the DA. So the DA has got its own set policies and programs. They just took Musi in and molded him and made him say what they've been saying. So there's no transformation there. It's just assimilation. So let's just be very clear that when you see DA fronting with Musi, that is not transformation, it's assimilation. So for us, we are talking about transformation. Fundamental change. That's what we're talking about. Now, Vic is with the ILO, and you would know that South Africa is a signatory of the state. So let's start internationally. I know Dirk, when he's got problems in the country, goes global to try and put pressure on South Africa. But Dirk, I've got bad news for you. ILO, which were a member state in this Convention 111, I'm not going to read it. I'm sure you guys can read it quickly as I talk here. You can see that countries that are member states are obliged to have a national policy to be able to redress the imbalances as well articulated by Sampi Terplanch. So anyway, so that's what, we, as a member state, we have a duty and an obligation to make sure that we have a law such as employment equity. So that's the first thing. Now, in South Africa, we're a constitutional democracy. So therefore, we have to respect the Constitution. It's a supreme law of the land. Now, if you look at our Constitution, Section 9, subsection 2, is very clear that also following from the 111 Convention of the ILO, that indeed to promote the achievement of equality. Let me pause there. The Constitution says to promote the achievement of equality. So the Constitution is well aware that this thing called equality is something to be arrived at. We don't have it here and now. Don't be confused. We don't have equality as we speak. We are going to achieve it. We have not achieved it. And the Constitution is clear on this matter, that it's something to be strived for. There are certain things that you must do before you achieve equality. We don't have it at this point. So, and if you look at the subsection 5, that, when you discriminate, there's nothing wrong if you discriminate for the basis of achieving the objectives of the Constitution. It's right there in the Constitution that there is fair and there is unfair discrimination. So to have discrimination is not automatically incorrect. You must check why you're discriminating. If you're discriminating to achieve the objectives of redressing, then that discrimination is allowed for by the Constitution. So let's not get confused. Now if you look at the Act itself, the law enacted to do about 6 things, but I chose just the 4. One is to promote the constitutional right of equality, to achieve a diverse workforce, to make sure that a lot more people are economically active, and to make sure that we also comply with ILO. Those are the few things that this Act is enacted for. So it's not reverse racism. It's to reverse racism itself. That's what employment equity seeks to do. And it does so in a very rational way, because there are many black people in this country, but it chooses this thing called EAP, Economic Active Population. And this is a very rational measure to say, as we talk about this equitable representation, the school-going age children don't count, people in jail don't count, retired people don't count, children under 15 don't count, remove. The only people we're talking about here are people that are formally employed, whether formally or informal environment, but as long as you are in some economic activity, and those that are seeking employment, these are people that we're talking about. It's a very rational number. If we had used the normal demographic, we would go from 76 to like 80% Africans, as it were. But we have not done that because we are a fair people. It was decided that let's use economic active population. It's the fairest, most rational measure to use to say that people be equitably represented at all levels. I don't know what is racist about that. It means everyone, including white people, as it were, must be equitably represented. What is unfair about that? But where are we? as we sit there in 2014-15. This is 2014/15. It's a very depressing picture. That despite the fact that Africans constitute 76.2%, as we speak right now at the top, they are only 13.6. Shocking, eh? Colored people, instead of being 10.6 to reflect their national economic active population, they're sitting at 4.7. Indians, they should only be 2.8%, but they're sitting pretty at 8.4%. White people, they should be 10.3%, but they're sitting at 70%. Okay, this is what the picture looks like as we speak right now. And then you've got foreign nationals. I think we must speak to the department to segregate them. They just put foreign nationals. You don't know what is their makeup. So I'm just not going to spend a lot of time. But let's look at the trend. What has been going on since 2011, 2012 to date? I'm not even going to focus on the Africans and coloreds where nothing has really been happening. Let's look at the Indians. Indians sitting at 3% economic active population generally. But since 2011, 2012, they've been at 7.3%, more than double their EAP. 2011, 12, 13, they are sitting at 11.6. 13, 14 at 8.4. 14, 15 at 8.4. They are only 3%. And I'm going to make some recommendations soon. White people, as you can see, they've been having it nice since day one, up to as we speak. Sitting at the 70s, this is their average. You know, when people say the economy of this country is not doing well, in fact, we should blame the white people. They are the ones at the top. They are the ones that are driving this economy. So if this economy is not doing well, look no further. Look at the white people. They are running this economy. So this is what it looks like at the top. Now, let's look at the key levers of transformation to say things like recruitment and promotion and skilling, and look at who's been the major beneficiaries. Once again, I'm not going to spend time on Africans and colors because they haven't been recruited, they haven't been promoted, they haven't been skilled. And you look at these numbers, base them with their economic active population. Indians have been the most recruited in terms of their EAP. Their EAP is 3%, but 7.1% recruitment, promotion 12.1%, skilling 6.2%. And then look at white people. And they are complaining about affirmative action and all this. But the most recruited people at the top are white people at 52.8%. The most promoted people are white people at 55%. The most skilled people, or rather the people that benefit the most from the skilling programs are white people. Now, how are we going to solve this problem of Africans and coloreds if we don't recruit them, we don't promote them, we don't skill them? How are we going to solve this problem? This is the challenge that is facing us in this country. Now let's look at women. Women are sitting at 20.8% as we speak right now at the top. This is just women. Let's disaggregate them. Africans. You know that African women are generally about 34.6% their economic active population. But at the top, as we speak, they are only 4.15%. Coloreds, they should be 4.5, they are 1.5%. 4.9, they are 1.5. Indian women, they should be 1%, they are 2.1%, more than 100%. White women, they should be 4.5, they're 12.7, again, over 100%. So it doesn't matter which way you cut it. Indians and whites are the ones that are benefiting from empowerment. These are the facts, not as manufactured by me, but as given by the Commission for Employment Equity, as it were. So these are the facts that we're dealing with. So there's not an emotional argument, as it were. Jan, when you write a story, you must quote the sources here. This is a Employment Equity Commission report. That's where I get these numbers from. So we have a problem of, you know, I keep saying to women, APSI recently has had a discussion with the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. and they've now got to a situation where the rules are going to ask, where are the women, as it were. It's a wrong question. It should not be where are the women. It should be a very direct and deliberate question, resolute question. Where are the African and colored women? That should be the question, not where are the women. They'll give you white women if you're asking that question. You know? So that's what needs to happen if we're going to make progress. Now they say, no, we can't find these blacks. Now this is from the same report, by the way. Look at Africans. All the way from 2010, 2012, 2014, skilled Africans. These are not my numbers. Commission for Employment Equity is telling us that 51% since 2010 today was sitting with 58.5% of skilled Africans as it were. These are not my numbers. Coloreds were sitting with 11.4, Indians 5.8, whites 22.7. So in fact, if you were to look at the black group as a whole, you're sitting with a serious number, where more than, what's that number there? Almost just under 70% of skilled black people, the group, but Africans are 58.5 and so on. So clearly, you do not have a shortage of skilled people. What we have a shortage of is appetite to absorb them. That's what we have a shortage of. They are there, but people don't want to appoint them. These are the numbers of the Commission for Employment Equity. I move on. Our chair has already spoken here about equal treatment of unequal people is unequal. It's a very fundamental statement, and it should be attributed to the BMF statement. It's an old BMF statement. Now, I think this picture shows this thing very well. This is now the problem that organizations like the DA, for instance, keep saying, no, 1994 has arrived, let's treat everybody equally. This picture shows what you do when you do that. We're trying to watch a game here. Now, imagine if we treat everybody equally. What happens to this guy? You know, if we try to treat everybody equally. This is why it's a flawed concept, Derek, to talk about this equality that we're looking for everyone. Can't have that. You must have equity. Equity means people in terms of their need. Look at this guy actually needs 2 boxes for him to be able to see. This one needs absolutely nothing, but he can also see over there. That's what we're talking about here. This is what employment equity in a nutshell should be all about. I move on. Enemies of transformation. I thought I should put all of them here. These are the enemies of transformation. And I can go to them one by one. In fact, very quickly. You look at the DA, they talk about equality of opportunity. It's the most flawed concept. You know, one of the problems of this equality of opportunity, it is because then they say, no, we are going to, I mean, it starts from that previous picture, to try and treat everybody equally. You can't treat everybody equally, because others are taller already, as you saw in the picture there. So what DA tends to do is to say equality of opportunity and everybody, when in fact they also know that one of the biggest problems is the gatekeepers. You know, in the BMF, there's a concept in a parable that has been used over years, the parable of a seed sower. It's a very powerful parable of a seed sower. That when the seed sower threw the seed, it fell on different grounds. But in short, the only seed that prospered is a seed that fell on the fertile ground. So therefore, everybody keeps saying, no, the problem is education, We've got a lot of educated black people that are sprawling the streets and not yet given opportunities. So we don't have a problem with education. We have educated blacks, but they just don't get given the opportunities. The farmers, they don't spend time treating the seed, they spend time tilling the soil. So the problem is the environment. Even a broken seed, if you put in a fertile ground, it will grow, you know? So the issue is environment. If you have a racist environment, it doesn't matter how qualified you are. It doesn't matter which business school you've been. If you have a racist environment, that when it sees a black person, it sees somebody that is incapable, you have a problem. Now, until we change that mindset, until we change the gatekeeper's mindset, we're going absolutely nowhere. This is the problem, and they externalize the problem. And when you know, when you are still around, he used to say, you know, a black person is a problem all the time. When you are a blue-collar worker, you are an industrial issue problem. When you are sort of middle class, you are a training problem. So basically, black people are in perpetual training and no graduation. This is the situation that black people find themselves. They are forever deemed to be not ready, forever deemed to need some help.